I am 60 pages into the Daylight Gate. I started reading this morning on the train. It is about the very well-known and famous Pendle Hill witch trials in 1612. This is the first Jeanette Winterson book that I am picking up. I haven't read any of her other novels, but she has been heavily on my radar for a really long time. I have heard nothing but fantastic things about her writing. I'm really obsessed with witches, the occult, that kind of themes in films and books. So naturally I gravitated towards The Daylight Gate as my first novel. I can't help but feel like I am missing out on some really important context. So I actually found a YouTube documentary on the channel Chronicle, and it has a documentary about the events that this book is based upon. So I decided to take a pause and I'm going to watch that documentary now. I'm super excited and I think it will give me a better sense of knowledge going into it. I don't really mind about being, I guess, spoiled for the book and finding out what happens. Since this is based off true events, I do want to have that outside knowledge just so I can understand the angle that this book is going at and further appreciate it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go watch that right now. It's like a 50-minute documentary on YouTube, so I'm very excited. I love documentaries.
In 1612, and a woman is in a courtroom. She's accused of killing 3 men through witchcraft. She's presented with a confession that she denies.
Then, a girl is brought to testify against her.
The girl bursts into tears as the woman screams at her desperately.
And the woman is removed back to the dungeon.
Once the girl has her audience, she jumps up onto a table and calmly denounces the woman as a witch. She's the woman's own daughter.
And other magistrates in the country, 2 really important things. That witchcraft is treason, not just against the king, but by extension also against God himself. And second,
Excuse me. Thank you. Bye. So I have just finished The Daylight Gate by Jeanette Winterson. This is my first Jeanette Winterson novel and I am kind of regretting choosing this as my introduction to her writing. Whilst the prose was beautiful and really nicely written, I actually found this book and story to be quite a letdown. This is based on a very famous witch trial that happened in 1612, which is well over 400 years ago. About 10 witches were, well, I say witches lightly, 10 women that were accused of being witches were hung and more were imprisoned. A young girl was at the forefront of this trial. As you guys saw, I decided to watch the documentary on YouTube about the trials, and it really gave me a lot of information, and I actually really enjoyed watching and learning about this era in time. I quickly realized that most of the time these women were just practicing herbal medicine and a different form of religion, and that was often seen as sorcery. All it really took was a couple people accusing them of being witches, some young children that aren't equipped to stand at trial. Going from the documentary and learning what I did and jumping back into the book, I actually was quite disappointed. It felt like it was bordering on the line of disrespect. In this book, the women that were hung are actually framed as witches. There is a lot of quite violent and descriptive scenes. This went a completely different direction than I initially thought. When I first logged this book into Goodreads, it was under historical fiction, and I feel like that isn't necessarily an accurate classification, because yes, the names of the characters in this book are the exact same as the women who were accused and hung in 1612, but that is about it. Nothing else is the same. I don't really feel too much about this story apart from, yes, I was disappointed. I can understand that Jeanette Winterson's writing is beautiful and pretty and well written. I do really regret picking this up as my first book of hers. I've only ever heard amazing things, but yeah, overall not too happy with how this fell down. I was often left really fatigued and confused while reading this. I felt like I wanted more from this. I definitely wanted to lean more into the facts of the case rather than going a completely different direction. I didn't hate the book. I also didn't love it. I'm just feeling quite indifferent. Overall, I would say this was about a 3-star read for me. I am disappointed, as I've mentioned. I really want to read more of Jeanette Winterson. This hasn't turned me off completely. This was my last read for the month, but now at least I know I do like her writing style, just didn't really like this book. If you've read this book, please let me know your thoughts. If you've read any of Jeanette Winterson's books, please recommend me what I should read next. Thanks for watching.